Today we are going to talk about Module 7 and the overview of the entire module, the main words that we're going to go over and concepts, as well as some helpful hints. Okay, as you can see, we are on our Module 7 overview page found in our first part of the unit. I made this picture and I think it's really spot on when it comes to the coldness and the institution that is this type of government, which is totalitarianism. That is a tongue twister for sure. But this module, we are going to cover the rise of totalitarianism. And so get used to hearing that word, and we're going to learn what that word is in this unit. Here is a good picture, a historical picture of the Hitler Youth. They were at a presentation or a parade of Hitler, and they're all praising him, and we're going to talk about that as well. And that is a feature of fascism, which is a totalitarian form of government. All right, so this is the topic, rise of totalitarian governments after World War I. Yes, there are different types of totalitarian governments, and we're going to cover 3 of them in our work, this module. And so let's go ahead and get our introduction here. So following the economic and physical destruction of World War I, alternatives to Western-style capitalism and liberal democracies began to emerge across the world. Let's go ahead and break that sentence down. Following the economic, so the financial, and physical destruction, so financial and physical destruction of World War I. Alternative, which means differences in Western-style capitalism and democracies began to show up around the world. Okay, students will examine in this module the factors that led to the rise of totalitarian regimes in places like Germany, Italy, Japan, and the Soviet Union. So we will look at these 4 countries and how they were going to be different than this idea of capitalism and democracies. So Germany, Italy, Japan, and Soviet Union are going to be heavy hitters in this module. We will also connect commonalities, so similarities that led to the rise of totalitarian regimes. So what were the factors that led to these types of regimes that come in into these places? Like what do they have that is similar that causes these types of governments to come through? We're also going to look at those ideological differences, so those set of beliefs that happen during this time period, or not this time period, but the differences between communism and fascism and socialism, and how they all are different from each other, yet similar in a lot of ways. Okay. We are going to look at our target skills. These are still the same ones that we have been working on this entire year. So developing a claim, remember that is just the answer to the question, citing relevant and accurate evidence that supports that claim, identifying that main idea and supporting evidence in a text, determining the meaning of words, phrases, and structures as they're used, and integrating a minimum of 2 sources to address a question. So using at least 2 sources to back up your evidence, or back up your claim, and identifying information from different places like political cartoons, photographs, maps, speeches, and etc., and identifying important information from a text. So figuring out, why it was written, who it was written for, that sort of stuff. Okay, here are our learning targets. So by the end of this unit, you can summarize the causes of the Russian Revolution. You can summarize the effects of the Russian Revolution. You can describe what totalitarianism is. You will be able to compare and contrast the ideals of communism to the reality of communism. You're going to be able to describe fascism. You're going to show how the Nazi Party came to power in Germany. You will understand why ordinary people supported the Nazi regime. You're going to be able to describe Japanese imperialism and provide examples of Japanese aggression before World War I. Okay, here are your essential questions. Why did the Russian Revolution develop and how did it become popular? What is totalitarianism and how was it implemented in communist Russia? How did Nazis come to power and why did ordinary people support them? And how did Japan become an imperial power, an aggressive nation prior to World War II? So by the end of this unit, these 4 questions will be answered by you guys and through our study. Here are some video resources. These are very tiny resources. Because of how heavy the topic is, a lot of the documentaries are restricted and can't be shared. They can only be streamed. So we will be doing that. Most of those documentaries we're going to be watching in class, so make sure that you are available for that. And if not, you need to let me know. So I want you to choose one of these videos and take notes on one of these videos. The themes to be discussed is that modernity, conflict, state control, and human rights, especially state control. We're going to be looking very, very heavily at state control. Here is the vocabulary. What I want you to do for your notes, because this is the last of the unit or the overview note page, I want you to choose 3 of these vocabulary words and you are going to put a definition in your own words and have a drawing that represents it. So again, you're going to take 3 of these vocabulary words. I'm going to recite them to you right now. And then you are going to put it in a sentence, and then you're going to draw a picture that represents it. Okay, so vocabulary is Russian Revolution. So, excuse me, by the end of the unit, we will be having discussed all of these topics. Russian Revolution, Bolsheviks, Vladimir Lenin, Joseph Stalin, censorship, indoctrination, 5-year plan, the Great Purge, totalitarianism, fascism, Benito Mussolini, Adolf Hitler, Mein Kampf, Nazism, Aryan race, anti-Semitism, Meiji Restoration, Emperor Hirohito, and Empire of Japan. All right, guys, that's it. It's over. So watch one video you should have taken notes for the entire video. If not, go back and rewrite it. Watch one video in those discussions and take notes on it. Define 3 vocab words in your own words, so do not copy and paste it from the internet. Then write it in 3 sentences or put them in a sentence, and then draw 3 pictures that are a representation of those vocabulary words. All right, of your choosing. All right, guys, until next time, I'll see ya. Bye.